Hey everybody, Steve Gamache with another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review, and what we have is the Tsubaki Aogami or Blue number 2 Nakiri 150mm knife. So this line of knives uses a 3-layer construction. You've got reactive high carbon Aogami blue paper number 2 steel for the core, and that's typically around 62 Rockwell hardness. And then we have a soft iron cladding, which is also reactive, so it's an all reactive blade that goes on either side of that. It looks like it probably goes over the top as well, but regardless, it's an all reactive blade. So, but anyway, so you got soft reactive iron cladding for the cladding, and then a hard core steel of Aogami number 2. The cladding has kind of a nishiji or pear skin kind of finish to this natural scale of the knife, and then it's got kudauchi or that kind of blacksmith protective finish, that dark finish over the top of that. So these are really interesting blades. They're kind of a really good price point for what you get, and you get a lot of handcrafted character to these things, and they've got a really interesting kind of more authentic finish to the blade grind down here towards the edge. The weight and dimensions can vary on these. This one is 172 grams or 6.1 ounces and around 152 millimeters in length. Usable edge about 6 inches, and the overall length is about 305 millimeters or just about 12 inches. Thickness, these are going to vary. This particular one I got about 3.6 millimeters at the back, and then about 2.8, and you can see a little wave right here with the hammering of that. So these have a lot of authentic character. The blacksmith work on here, everyone's going to be unique. So pretty much just holds that thickness to the end. Height's about 48 millimeters. And then the handles, nothing real fancy. They're oval, hoe wood or magnolia wood with a metal sleeve over them. And there's a step here between the wood and that. That's kind of just characteristic of these handles. You've got some gaps in the install, so you'll want to put a sealer on there of some kind to keep moisture out of there. Handles actually are pretty big, about 85 millimeters in circumference right here. So they're for the size of the knife, I think they're on the big side, but you could easily put a different handle on this, maybe a more appropriate sized handle. They are light, so that does keep the balance point forward just a little bit, so it's not handle heavy. If you do put a different handle on this, I would make sure it's not a heavy handle. You want to keep probably that balance point forward a little bit for this style of blade. You got a little spot for your finger in there for a pinch grip. And then, I guess, let's see which side. I think I'll go with this side. So here's our beauty shot. So on the left side of the blade, they've got their logo embossed in here. And on the right side of the blade, they've got some kanji stamped or embossed in there. And you can see the finish. You got some hammer marks there. You got some kind of scale going. You got the KU. So each side's different. Every knife's going to be quite unique, so that's the cool part about these. Everyone's going to be a little different. Again, a very authentic, kind of natural looking. This looks to be kind of a natural finish to me. You can see the cladding line there. It's definitely not, it doesn't look sandblasted to me. It might even be a natural stone finish. I don't know off the top of my head without checking the product page, but you can review that. In terms of down to the edge, they get pretty thin right at the edge. They've ground them down quite thin. You can see kind of the edge profile there. They've taken just a little bit off the corners, and they've taken some off the corners of the choil here as well as the spine. So edge, this was pretty sharp out of the box. I'll give it a 6, maybe 7 out of 10. It's actually quite stiff, of course. You can see that. And let's take a look at it on the cutting board. So you can see it's fairly flat. You've got a little bit of a rise right in the middle there. This is an edge profile you could adjust a little bit. So if you wanted to take a little bit off that middle and flatten it out, that wouldn't be a big deal. You could take just a little bit off the middle, resharpen it, and flatten it out a little bit. So you can see the tip is squared off, and it's quite sharp at the tip. So this would be super easy to draw through things like bell peppers or kind of whatever you like to draw cut stuff. This would be super easy because you got that tip right there, and you don't have to raise the knife really at all to get to that tip. So Great for draw cuts, not a problem. Obviously, kind of oriented around chopping. So it's just a neat looking package and a very interesting knife, and obviously at a high value price point. So this is the Tsubaki Origami or Blue No. 2 Nakiri 150mm knife.